All right, good morning. How are y'all this morning? Or this noon, actually, here in Peoria. I'm going to switch to this particular screen. It's November 17th, I believe. Right, Tuesday the 17th? No, it's not. No, next month, November. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right. That's not what this is about. Today, our webinar is, here, let's just change this on the fly. What do you say? Today's webinar is going to be about the dashboard. And it's going to be a dashboard update, not a reader update. And today's date is October 15th. Okay, moving along. For those of you that were here last month, or 3 weeks ago, last month, yes, we talked about the light reader and how we can update it. One of the things I wanted to show you before we get too far along is, because I wasn't able to show it to you last time, is the tagdata.txt file and what it looks like compared to, I'm trying to find it here, compared to what it used to look like. So if I go to the tagdata.txt file now in the light reader, this is from a memory stick light reader that we just did a minute or two ago, you'll notice that the connection date and time, today's date and the time, and there is a banner that gives us the serial, not the serial number, the version number of the software that's installed on the decoder module, which is the sort of secret sauce that does the tag decoding. It gives me the serial number of the reader. It also gives me the version number of the decoder software again. And ultimately, at some point, it will be able to give us the version number of the Lantronix and its MAC address. Also gives us the firmware version of the V drive and the firmware version of the motherboard. So this is current and up to date. It's running 1.61. Its version is 3.69 of the V drive, and it's running 1.4 of the decoder software. All right. I'm assuming I'm hearing all of you. Somebody want to send me a chat message to to let me know that I'm being heard, or that you're all hearing me rather. Sorry. And seeing the video. I'm sorry. You don't have a picture. Aha. Well, let's see what we can do about that.
Just says this. Oh, there it is.
How about a picture now? Okay. All right, well, let me go through that really again, because I guess you were just hearing me in the audio only mode. Oh yeah, I guess the message did tell me that when I started up, that it was an audio only. All right, so this is, for those of you that were here last month for the light reader segment, this is a tagdata.txt file from the new updated light reader. This will be, again, it has the date and time that the reader was recorded, that the reader was started. It gives me the version number and type of decoder that it has. It gives me the serial number for the reader, the version of the decoder software, and ultimately it will give us a Lantronix, the Lantronix being the Wi-Fi adapter, Wi-Fi and Ethernet, serial to Ethernet converter. Ultimately it will give us that information. Gives us the version number of the firmware that's on the V drive, which is the the little module that drives the USB stick, and the motherboard that puts it all together. And its version is 1.61. So these versions are all correct and up to date as of today. So, and then it goes, these are AB records that are control records, but it will start giving you tag data records now, AA records, just like you're used to seeing after it starts up for this. This way, all of the software issues that you may have, we can identify what version, if you're having read problems or things like that, we can identify what versions of hardware and software you have on that reader going forward, and it helps us from a diagnostic standpoint. I will also tell you that we are doing there's a similar feature in the Elite Reader called the Info D log and the D monitor log that gives you the same type of version and status information. Well, it gives you more information actually, because it gives you actual live information. So those tools are really handy to have from a diagnostic standpoint going forward. I have tested the tag data, these changes to the tagdata.txt file and the reader with Chuck Score, Elf Score, and Race Director for those of you that are using those applications. And there were no issues with these files. All three of those programs, I believe, all three of those scoring applications filter on the AA record. So it's when it sees tag data, all the tag data records are AA records. So it filters on that first two characters AA before it and ignores everything else. So from that standpoint, those applications should be good to go and see no differences with this change to the tagdata.txt file. All right, moving right along. Today, in fact, a few minutes ago, we just published the new version of the dashboard application. Oh, by the way, for those of you that are interested in the Light Reader update that we talked about last month, this is the URL, the link for that Light Reader update. So feel free to write that down and put that in your list of things. Again, if any of you have any issues with that, feel free to let us know and we'll walk you through how to do it. But the instructions are built into that zip file, so that you should be able to download it and install those files. It is dependent on the serial number, so be sure you know what the serial number of your Light Reader is before you attempt any of these updates. There are 3 different groups based on the serial number. So the older serial numbers have a different set of hardware in them and different set of firmware capabilities. So we need to make sure that you're installing the right version in the right reader. So again, be sure you're checking on the serial numbers. All right, next, that's not what I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about the dashboard update today, and this I didn't get that updated here. So let me get that taken care of. All right. So the dashboard update that we're doing today has a couple of different features in it. We've improved the way it does time synchronization. We've improved the time synchronization. We have, so it's tightened up on both the Light and the Elite Reader. We have added Elite's update installation capability. We've added VPN key installation. And I can't type very well, can I? And this is for the Elite. The VPN key only works on the Elite. And we have changed the way, we've added a visual indication, if you will, for when the time setting application is actually, when the time synchronization is actually running. And we've added a visual pop-up box for when the history has been cleared. Oh, I've got a little Skype message here. Okay. So now when you clear the history on the Elite reader, there will be a little pop-up box that says the history's been cleared, so you get a pop-up confirmation. That was requested by one of our customers. He liked that from a previous connection, or the previous version of the light reader. So again, this is an important update because in the next day or two, we will also be, it's not quite ready yet. I was hoping to release it today, but it's not quite done yet. The Elite Reader update. This will be version 2.5.1. And the dashboard application, which is up on the website now. And so if you launch the current version 3 of the dashboard, it will automatically go out and recognize the fact that there is a new update available and download and install that update for you. The features that are in the version that we're talking about is 3.0.1. So it's version 3.0.1.0 actually is what the version number is. That version will have all the Elite updates, so that it won't have the updates, but it'll have the ability to install those updates. And so we'll have some instructions when the Elite update is available in the next few days about how to do that update and using the dashboard software tool. Makes it much easier than FTPing and then going to the webmin and installing it that way. It can all be done from within dashboard. You don't need to set up an FTP server, and you don't need to copy the files to the reader. It makes it much simpler to do it that way, to do it with dashboard. So we hope you like it and that you are able to install the Elite update. By the way, the Elite update is part of the time synchronization fixes that the dashboard takes advantage of. So if you update your Elite reader to version 2.5.1, which again will be available in the next couple of days, the dashboard will be able to synchronize the time on your Elite reader more accurately. So it's a good update to install. Plus it has lots of other hooks, lots of other benefits that I'll go into probably on our next call, our next webinar, so that you understand what those are, and and some of you will probably have questions about it at that point. It's the version of the Elite Reader firmware that will be used, obviously, going forward for all of our Elite readers. But also it adds a number of features for additional software tools that we have in the pipeline. So it's an important update to install as well. So both the Light, Elite, and Dashboard update software and firmware tools are important to update as soon as you possibly can. Okay, so for those of you that are interested in the dashboard and do not have internet access, want to download the full install, there is a full install version of it at this URL. So feel free to write that down, and and you can download that today. Again, this is currently available on the website right now, so you can go ahead and install that as we speak. I will also go into a brief demo for the dashboard, just to show you what it looks like. It's not a great deal different, but we'll run the dashboard demo here right now, and you should be able to see it as soon as I get it up and running. Dashboard. There you go. Close that. Close that. All right. Dashboard. Oh, that's the old dashboard. How can that be? Yes. I would like to close that. Ah, that's because I didn't go. I went to the shortcut and not to the actual application, and I still have the old shortcut on here. All right. Dashboard. Dashboard.exe. There we go. That looks better. Okay. So let's see if we can connect to. Oh, nope. It's not running. Don't have an Elite Reader running currently, but I can go to a light reader and connect to it. Are you all seeing this? Are you seeing the dashboard? Okay, good. Aaron's over here helping me out, making sure that I'm not missing too much here. So again, you'll see the newest addition on the front page here is this little checkbox that you see here next to the set time button. So when I set the time on the Elite Reader, you'll see a check mark, and then it briefly went away. That means that the time setting application process completed successfully. If that check mark stays there for an extended period of time, please click the set time button again so that it completes that process. There are, other than that, these menus have not changed. You can reset the counter. You can view tags. We don't have any tags in here at the moment, but you can view the tags if you wish in the database here, and that's a handy check to make sure your data files are being collected by your scoring software as well. Okay, hang on just a second. I'll be right back. I am back. Can you all still hear me? All right. All right. Moving right along. Again, here's the URL for the dashboard application. Again, oh, I've got a bunch of questions here. Okay. I will start looking at questions here in just a moment. All right, most of the questions are about, now we have okay. Very good. All right. Okay. Everybody got the video now? I hope. Okay. I'm entering information into the chat window here too, by the way. So, okay. Do you want to track down our Vanna White here? See if we can get that going. Are there any questions? Oh, here he is. Are there any questions about any equipment issues that you may have for the moment? I know you're all anxiously awaiting the big drawing here. We're doing the live on-screen drawing for a voucher to come to the users conference in January, third week in January. I think it's the 19th through the 21st of January or somewhere in that neighborhood. It's travel and accommodations voucher for those of you that purchased 1,000 bib tags or more. But in any case, I will have the drawing here in a few minutes. Okay, are there any questions about this at this point? All right. Well, if there are no questions, without further ado, we'll do the big drawing and get that going. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to share my webcam. Okay, so here's my webcam. Now I have to share my webcam window so I can see what I am doing. All right. Hi all. How are y'all? I can actually probably, no, okay. This will work. Make this a little bigger. There. Okay, so I happen to have here the IPICO Sports version of Vanna White.
Hello.
Some of you may know him as Bob Corey. Bob is in charge of our shipping department, and we've pressed him into service here to do our drawing. And I will show you the box, right? So here's the box of all the tags, or of all the, for the drawing, for all of you. And Bob is shaking them up as we speak. It's all very, very scientific. Okay. Now,
Up there, isn't it?
uh-oh. Now that we have all the tags in the box, Bob's going to draw the name out of a hat, or out of the box in this case. And he's going to pull out the lucky winner here.
Final Mile Race Management.
It's Final Mile Race Management is the winner of the bib tag drawing for the all expenses paid trip to the users conference in Las Vegas next January. So for those of you at Final Mile Race Management, congratulations. Are there any more questions that I can help you with at this point? Feel free to enter the questions at any point. So. I'm waiting for some more questions here. Okay. I do have some more questions. All right.
No, we can't draw again.
No, we can't draw again. Okay, so Steve Day has asked, last month I mentioned that a racer can wear a multi-sport tag and the positioning of the mats could affect how reads are possible. Where's your multi-sport tag at, Aaron? You got that one laying around here? Okay, excellent, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to turn the webcam back on, and I hope you can see this. This is a standard issue multi-sport tag. When it's on the ankle, right, it's on somebody's ankle, it's going to be in this orientation typically. And there'll be a strap around there. So that will be perpendicular to the field of the mat. If the tag is oriented in this direction, it will not get, likely not get read. If the tag is oriented in this direction or this direction, parallel to the surface of the mat, it will likely not get read also. It needs to be vertically oriented and on the outside of the person's ankle, preferably. Okay? Hope that answers your question, and if not, Steve, feel free to ask again. Okay. All right. A gentleman's asking, Eric wants to know if we do a double chip. You can't put, if you're, I'm assuming this is in relationship to shoe tags. You can't put two shoe tags simultaneously over top of one another because that will cause neither one of them to read. There's just not enough energy to charge both tags in that small of an area. And it changes the tuning of the tags as well. So they need to be separate. So if you're going to do a double tagging of a runner, make sure that you put one tag on the left foot and one tag on the right foot. In that case, you can go ahead and do it. All right. Again, left foot, right foot. Hope that answers your question, Eric. Yeah, okay. Arturo's reminding me that the voucher is not for all expenses, it's just for travel and accommodations. Right, your incidentals are your own responsibility there, but yes, we'll get you there and allow you to be present for the meetings. Okay. How, John Marston is asking how you set up an external trigger on a light reader. The external trigger on a light reader, there's a connector on the light reader that allows you to plug a 1/4-inch phone plug, and you can connect a simple switch contact closure type of device that will connect to that trigger. Oh, the webcam's not on? No, it's not. Okay. Let's turn it on. There we go. Oh, it says share. Okay. All right. The webcam is now on. Okay, sorry guys. You got to keep me honest here. Okay, let me go back to this multi-sport tag orientation. Can you see the webcam now? You can't see it?
See open Q&A.
You should be seeing the webcam at the moment.
Your little black window, but it's empty.
Huh. That's weird. Okay, well, we'll do this another way. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Now you can see it. Okay. We'll do it that way. Interesting. Okay, so let me do this again. If you look at my wrist, you normally would have a shoe tag, a multi-sport tag in this orientation on the person's ankle. That would be perpendicular to the plane of the mat, which is underneath here, right? So that's the proper orientation. It should be on the outside of the person's ankle. But that would be the proper orientation for a multi-sport tag. If the multi-sport tag is placed in this kind of an orientation, it will not work correctly. If it is in this kind of an orientation, flat to the ground, it will not work correctly. If it's upside down, it will work just fine, but it's not designed to be flat or off angle. So make sure that it's perpendicular to the ground and flat on the reader here, or flat on the mat. Sorry. Okay, and the other question was in regards to double tagging shoe tags. Left hand, right hand. Two shoe tags will not energize it. The interaction of the two loops changes the tuning of the tags, and so it will not get energized in red. The two tags need to be separate. So if you're going to put two tags on a runner, make sure you put one on the left foot and one on the right foot. Otherwise, you're going to end up with problems. So they can't be stacked on top of one another. They have to be completely separate and have air going around them each side. So again, left foot, right foot, two different tags. All right. Okay, got a few more questions. Okay. The dashboard update. I will go back and give you that the link again for the dashboard update. Okay, so y'all did see the draw. Good. All right. Eric is asking how much overlap is needed on a mat when two 2.5 meter mats are laid out to make a 5 meter finish line, or approximately. Okay, that's an end-to-end orientation. I'm going to use these tags as an example again, so that the mats are placed end to end in this kind of an orientation. In that case, there should be just a little bit of an overlap, about 12 inches. What you really want to do is to have at least the two transmit loops, which are the two outer loops, on top of one another. So overlap it enough so that the two transmit loops on the two mats are on top of one another. Okay? That should be enough to get you going. And that works out to be about 12 inches. All right, David is asking about dashboard supporting a cross-reference with a bib ID file. How do you do this? I'm not sure I know the answer to that question. I don't quite understand the question. So David, if you could ask again, or call us, or send me an email directly to lhicks@ipicosports.com. or support@ipicosports.com. We'll be happy to answer your question. Sean Laughlin's pointing out that having two tags on two different shoes is a better situation anyway, because if a runner loses a shoe, he still has his tag on the other foot. I had a race timer tell me the other day that he had a runner. Well, he had only one tag on the shoe, on one shoe, and he had the timer. Timer told me that the kid lost his shoe on the race course, on the cross-country course, and the coach ran back to the finish line to meet the runner with the shoe so he could run across the mat at the finish line with his shoe so he would get read correctly. So that's a dedicated coach. Any other quick questions here before we okay. John's asking again about the specifications for a replacement connector for the RX cable. I'm assuming you're talking about the BNC connector on the mats for the receive loop. That is an RG58 connector. So any RG58 BNC connector will work just fine. And those are available at like Radio Shack and other electronic repair shops. Oh, yes. Eric's following up with another question. If he needs to have 2 tag IDs, yes. Each tag ID, if you're putting 2 tags on the runner, there will be 2 tag IDs for each bib number, because the runner will only have 1 bib number, but he'll have 2 tags. And each tag ID is individual and separate. So you'll need to have 2 of those. And all the scoring software that I'm aware of supports up to 2 tag IDs per runner. I think Roger Bradshaw told me the other day, Race Director supports up to 99 tag IDs per runner. So that should be more than enough for most of you. Eric's also interested in using Meet Pro. Benji said ElfScore supports 10 tag IDs per runner. Okay, great. Meet Pro is a supported application. Just recently, the folks at Direct Athletics got that up and running and working, and I believe it's being used by a couple of customers at this point. So Meet Pro is an application that does work with our equipment, with IPICO Sports equipment. All right, well, yeah, okay. I think that's pretty much, Mariano wants to know, can you show us a picture on a program? Oh, for the trigger. Mariano, I will have Arturo answer that question for you in an email, because he's got Chuck Score on his computer. I don't have it readily available for me at the moment. So, but I think Arturo should be able to answer that question as well. Okay, so now, okay. Rodney is asking for the bib numbers. So I happen to have, I'm sorry, not the bib numbers, but the updates that you're interested in using, the various reader updates that we have. So I happen to have in my bag of tricks here the update availability chart. This chart, excuse me, are you all seeing the chart now? Excuse me.
Yep.
Again, for reader serial numbers that begin with the digit 501, digits 501, the version number that you would, the highest version number that you can support right now are 1.60. And this tells you what upgrade tool to use, and the decoder version, and again, what update tool, and then the MOXA, which is the serial to Ethernet converter, and the upgrade tool, and also the V drive and the upgrade tool. The V drive is probably the easiest thing to update, because all you do is copy the FTRFB file onto a USB stick, stick it into the V drive, and it will automatically update itself because it looks for that file upon insertion. So that's the easiest thing to install. The rest of these applications are a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. Reader upgrade makes it pretty easy to do too. Just make sure you follow the instructions. And similarly, readers with serial numbers AB 00001 to 250 support the same series as the 501 series. So that would be the same updates for those as you have for the 501 series. And then the newer readers, the readers that come with the Lantronix serial to Ethernet converter, have the ability to have the serial number information added to the tagdata.txt file and version number information. So that's version 1.61 of the motherboard. Uses a different chipset, so it's version 1.4 for the ARM chipset for the decoder. Again, the Lantronix device installer and the standard issue V drive update. By the way, I will tell you, for those of you that have the older Moxa controllers, this version of the Moxa software solves a problem that we had early on. And I think most of you have probably been updated to this version by now, but for those of you that may not have been, there are some situations where certain characters, when if your network has got some other activity going on, if the Moxa receives certain characters, it will stop transmitting. And you have to power it off and turn it back on again to get the Ethernet port to start transmitting again. This particular update to the Moxa will fix that problem. So again, these are all recommended updates for the light reader. All right. I will close that, and we will move back to the presentation mode, and I'll go back to the dashboard download information. That's on the screen right there in front of you at the moment. And feel free to jot that down quickly. And in a minute, I will switch over to the light reader update URL as well. All right. This is the light reader update URL. And that chart that you see that I just showed you is in this update file. I believe it's in the system, in that zip file. Okay, that said, our next webinar will be Tuesday, November 17th, again at 12 p.m. Central Time. I believe the topic will be the Elite Reader updates, so we'll go through that with you and talk to you about how those updates and some of the changes and what you might be seeing, and go through any issues that you may have with the updates. So, hope to see you all next month when our topic will be the Elite Reader updates. Again, congratulations to Final Mile Race Management for the winner of the bib tag drawing for this month. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Aaron or myself at support@ipicosports.com, or call us here in the office at 309-672-6442. We'll be glad to answer your questions as best we can. Thank you all and have a great day.